Hi guys, welcome to your ultimate nightmare for the semester. Fancy having your marks linked to an activity that's incredibly difficult to understand and is inherently driven by luck. How are you going to cope with that? Well, let's see if we can make sense of how you at least play the game, how you come to reconcile the outcomes of the game. That's ultimately the challenge for you. And we won't deal with that as an issue in this presentation. This presentation is really about getting you to think about how do I invest into the game and how do I change the nature of the conditions in the game. So let's have a look. First thing you have to realize is there are three phases to the game. Okay, you've got the first phase, which is where we're talking about the industry starting. Okay, we've got the second phase, which is where we're talking about the industry becoming more mature and developing, and we've got the last phase where the scenario that you'll be reading through will be talking about the industry either facing some form of decline or an opportunity to go in some other direction. But always remember that when you read through the scenario, they are always written in the order of something begins, something develops, and something moves towards an end position. All right, so you don't have to find the periods of the game in this scenario very difficult. They're always ordered out: first, second, and then third. You've been introduced to the notion of the R strategist and the K strategist, and we've also discussed issues of the specialist and the generalist. So now you get 4 opportunities in each phase. So in the first phase, you could invest in being an R strategist as either a specialist or a generalist, or you could be a K strategist as either a specialist or a generalist. And you can do the same thing in the second phase and the same thing in the third phase. Okay, let's see if we can make some sense of this. You have 30 credits that you can place. Let me push so I can get that into red. That stands out a bit better. So you have 30 credits that you can invest into the game. Okay, you can divide the 30 credits up across any of the 12 possible areas that you can invest in. So you could put 10 here, you could put 6 there, you could put 4 here, and you could put 10 there. Okay, that's easy. You can do that, no problems at all. All right, it's entirely up to you. Your challenge is to read through the scenario and to try and make sense of how I am, in the first instance, suggesting the environment will be weighted one way or the other. So maybe I'm saying in the first phase of the game, right, in the beginning of the industry, it was almost impossible for anyone to make a profit. So you know that it's going to be very difficult for you to actually invest into that phase and get a return. Maybe I then said during the second phase of the game, those firms who took a long-term strategy and focused on a very specific market niche did really well. Long-term, K strategist, and very specific niche, specialist. So I'm talking about there's an opportunity for you to invest into this area. Now think about it though. If everyone goes into that one area, it's going to drive the returns of the game down. So then you have to ask yourself, might I be better off going into this area here where no one's going to go and trying to change the nature of the environment? Well, we'll get back to that. We'll get back to the issue of how you change the environment. The main thing is that you're comfortable that you have, in playing the game, you have 30 credits, and think of them like, that's what you're going to invest into the marketplace to start your company. You have to work out whereabouts you're going to invest and what your strategy is. Is it short-term or long-term? Okay, so look for the clues. Am I looking for a short-term clue, R strategy, or a long-term clue, K strategy? Am I talking about selling something to all people, so a very broad market thing, so we're talking about a generalist, or are we talking about having a very narrow focus on specific customers, so specialist? So look for those clues across the different time periods to try and work out where it is that you should be investing. Okay, having worked through that, you can either invest with the scenario, in which case you're going to get 60 or 70%. All right, that's just what you'll get. If you can nut out the scenario, you'll get 60 or 70%. But maybe you think, I want to do better than that. Okay, maybe I want to take a risk. Maybe I want to actually bring some risk into my strategy by investing against the scenario, okay, and being somewhere where other people won't be. If everybody goes here, it will drive down the nature of the return that's possible. So what you're trying to do is position yourself where you can get the highest return relative to the other people playing the game. Okay, that's the challenge. What you also get though is you get 50 credits that you can use to support your strategy and by changing the environment. So this is a firm specific investment you're making for your firm to enter a particular type of industry. This is how you're going to try and change the environment. Okay, so if we played that 30 here, right, and we thought the scenario was perhaps suggesting this was a good place to be, then we want to make sure that we put 50 straight below this, so that we're trying to make sure that the environment is going, this is how we invest this, and importantly, this can't be split. The 50 is the 50, all right? We can't put 25 of it here and 25 of it here. We can split the 30 as many times as we want, but we can't split the 50, okay? So you're using the second line of allocation to try and preference the environment in such a way that it supports your strategy on the top line. Now, here's the tricky bit, all right? And we're going to play as a practice to begin with, and then as you play through the first and second game, this will become more apparent to you. But you can actually reduce the 30 down to 25, and so forth. You can make it 29, you can make it 28, you can make it 27, you can make it 26, okay? And at the same time, you can make this 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, okay? So you can change, you can trade off up to 5, maximum of 5, so that you bring your investment back in the firm down to 25, and at the same time increase your potential to influence the market. Why would you want to do this? Well, if you're going to go into an area where I've said it's really unattractive to be in the industry at the beginning, if no one else goes there, but you play 25 here and you play 100 over here, then you've got this huge influence on the environment, and you're a really good chance to turn it around. If you just played 30 over here and put your 50 here, maybe the environment here has already been set at minus 50, in which case you're going to get a zero return because your 50 can't turn around the minus 50. But if it was set at minus 50 and you put your 100 in here, then all of a sudden the environment's now going to be worth 50. All right? Now, lots of challenges, and you'll make sense of them as you're going through. But the main thing to realise is that when we think about the game, we have to make decisions about whether we want to enter the industry in the first phase, the second phase, or in the third phase. When we enter the industry, do we want to enter as an R strategist? And we can change that across the game. Do we want to be an R strategist or a K strategist? And do we want to be a specialist or a generalist? And you have to make those decisions within each phase of the game. Once you've decided where it is you want to invest, you have to try and make sense of how are you going to allocate your preferences to the environment to try and support the potential return you can get out of the game, okay? And you can change this 50 up to 100 if you're prepared to sacrifice some of your internal investment into your firm from anywhere from 30 back to 25, okay? Good luck. You really need to just be able to go with the flow, follow your hunch. Work with somebody else is much easier if you can work this one through in pairs. But the main thing is, remember, you cannot beat the game. It's impossible for you to know what everyone else in the class is going to play. You cannot beat the game, but you can master your capacity to accept the risk that you play in the game and for you to comprehend the nature of the outcomes from the game. Good luck, and I look forward to seeing what you all come up with. And let's just see how we can get you guys raring and going. It's great fun. Just have some fun with it.